Shabbos, everyone.
Shabbos, Rabbi.
For those who are joining us online, there's a link there on the YouTube page for our prayer book that you can follow along with as well. There's also a chat section on the YouTube page, and you can give a shout out to our bat mitzvah this morning and tell us where you're watching from and how you're enjoying services as well. For the rest of us, it's nice that we come together as a community to enjoy this Shabbos together. And so in the 13th year of a young woman's life, she has the opportunity to read Torah for the first time and teach her community from that which she has read. And more than just reading Torah and Haftarah, we ask our students to lead us in worship on Shabbat. So more than what occurs on this morning, they know the prayers of our people, they know they belong, and they are part of a much larger and greater community. So on this Shabbos morning, it's our honor to call to Bima to become bat mitzvah, Vera May Leibson. Vera is the daughter of Monica and Joseph Leibson and the sister of Miles, and the granddaughter of Marcia and Michael Leibson, and Diane and Donald Clemmer. And so we call Vera to our bima now to lead us in worship on this Shabbos morning.
We turn to page 63 to begin our service. We read responsively. It is good to give thanks to God, to sing praises to your name, to tell of your love in the morning, and to sing of your faithfulness at night. Playing with an instrument of 10 strings, sounding the lute and stroking the harp. Your works have made me rejoice, and your glories move me to sing. How great are your works, O God, how profound your design. The insensitive will never appreciate your creations, nor will the fool understand life's meaning. The wicked may flourish like grass, and the evil may multiply, but they are all doomed to failure. But you, O Eternal, shall be exalted forever. All shall proclaim that Adonai is just. Let every living being bless your name, and let every spirit glorify our God forever. Throughout all time, we will have no ruler but you, our God. You guide the world with love, and touch each of your creations with care and kindness. You neither slumber nor sleep. You cause the speechless to utter words, and the wrongly imprisoned to go free. You support the fallen, heal the sick, and raise up the lonely. To you alone do we give thanks. We turn to page 65 and rise for the call to worship. Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach. Praise be our God, to whom all praises due. Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Praise be our God, to whom all praises due, now and forever.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai Hamevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvorei choshech, oseh shalom uvorei et hakol, hameir la'aretz ve'ladarim, alecha barachamim, uvtuvo mechadesh bechol yom, tamid maaseh v'reishi. Praise be the eternal, our God, ruler of the world, who makes light to shine and darkness to descend upon us. God has taught us the meaning of peace and shapes all things that we touch. With compassion, God gives the earth light and renews the work of creation day by day. Ma rabu ma'asecha Adonai, kulam bechochma asita, mala haaretz kinyanecha. Titbarach Adonai Eloheinu al shevach ma'aseh yadecha, ve'al me'orei or she'asita yefa arucha selah. Or chadash al Zion ta'ir, v'nizke kulanu mehera le'oro. Baruch atah Adonai yotzer ha'me'orot. How great are your works, O God! In wisdom you make them all. The earth is filled with your creations. For the glow of the stars and the work of your hands, let all of your creations give you praise. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we may swiftly merit its radiance. Blessed be the eternal, maker of the morning light. Great is your love for us, and abiding your compassion. Our ancestors trusted in you, and you taught them how to value life. Be gracious now to us, and with kindness guide us with your understanding, so that we might both learn and teach the laws of truth. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava. Blessed is our God, who in love has chosen Israel to be a people. As we recite the watchword of our faith, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadevarim ha'ele asher Anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha ve'dibarta bam ve'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochbecha uv'kumecha uv'kshartam leot al yadecha ve'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim lelohechem. shall love the Eternal, your God, with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand, and they shall be a symbol before your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your house and on your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot and do them. So shall you consecrate yourselves to your God. I, the Eternal, am your God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I, the Eternal, am your God. These enduring words have been a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. Faith and choice bring understanding to the soul and sensitivity to the heart. In all times and places, our God has been a part of our lives. Our faith has been our rock and our help. We watched God's wonders when we went free from Egypt. When slavery's chains were broken, we witnessed it. May those who have the faith to believe also have the wisdom to be kind. O God, in whom we have all hope, we glorify your name now, as our people have praised you throughout history.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסיף אלה, נורא תהילות אוסיף אלה. בעזרת ישראל ופדי חרומך יהודה וישראל גואלנו אדוני צבאות שמו קדוש ישראל ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We turn to page 70 and rise for the Amidah. We pray silently, reading either the words in our prayer books or those our hearts may prompt. Eternal God, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei chasadim tovim, vekonei hakol, v'zocher chasadavot ve'imahot, umevi geula livnei b'neihem, leman shemo be'ahava, melech ozer umoshia umagin. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Atah gibor leolam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah, Rav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechakel chayim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofei cholim, Umatir asurim, Umkayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Michamocha ba'al gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umchaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Eternal is your power, O God. You are mighty to save. You rain dew upon us. In love you sustain the living. In the multitude of your mercies you preserve all. You uphold the falling and heal the sick. Free the captives and keep faith with your children in death as in life. Who is like you? Who is your equal? Author of life and death, source of salvation. Blessed is the eternal God, the source of life. We sanctify your name on earth, even as your holiness is proclaimed in the heavens above and throughout time and space. In the words of the prophet Isaiah, we say, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of hosts. The fullness of the whole earth is God's glory.
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Melech ol haaretz kevodo, Baruch kavod Adonai, mimakomo, Yimloch Adonai leolam, Elohai Zion, Ledor vador, Hallelujah.
To all generations we will make known your greatness, and to all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed is Adonai, the holy God. Please be seated. Our God and the God of our ancestors, accept our rest as a sacrifice of time and space. Let us share in your world by celebrating creation day by day. Purify our hearts so that we may be honest and upright, forgiving and compassionate. Blessed are you, O God of truth, who helps us to make the Sabbath a part of our life and our heritage of joy. Look with favor, O God, upon your people Israel, and receive our prayers with love. May it be your will to accept our worship and our deeds. Blessed are you, who alone we serve in reverence. Eternal source of good, we thank you for the numberless gifts and blessings that fill our days, for life itself in its endless variety, for all that sustains body and mind, for love and friendship, for the delights of the senses, and for the excellence of your Torah, which deepens our life and enriches our days. Help us, O God, to work for a just and compassionate society where we all may share your gifts in the joy of freedom. For all of this, your name shall be blessed and praised forever.
ישמחו במלכותך, שומרי, שומרי, שומרי שבת. וקורא עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת מקדשי שביעי שבת כולם יספעו ויתן גם דובך שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת זכר למעשה וראשית שבת זכר למעשה וראשית שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקורא עונג שבת.
Those who keep the Sabbath and call it a delight shall rejoice in your majesty. All who hallow the seventh day shall find happiness in your goodness. This day is Israel's festival of the Spirit, sanctified and blessed by you, the most precious of days, a symbol of the joy of creation.
שים שלום, טובה וברכה, חן וחסד ורחמים עלינו ועל כל ישראל. עמך
Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country, that it may always be a stronghold of peace and its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within its borders, health and happiness within its homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship among the inhabitants of all lands, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Blessed is the eternal God, the source of peace. We continue our service on page 79 as we prepare for the reading of Torah. As in our tradition, in honor of my bat mitzvah and in thanks for their love and their kindness, I call upon my mom and dad and my Nina and Saba.
אין כמוך באלוהים אדוני, ואין כמעשיך, מלכותך מלכות כל העולמים, וממשלתך בכל דור ודור. אדוני מלך, אדוני מלך, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. אדוני עוז למויטים, אדוני יברך את עמו ושלום.
As your grandparents present this with you first.
Vera, there is a family tradition we've developed over the years. When we go to Israel on numerous of our trips, we buy talit for days like this. This has been going on for about 18 years, started with Ben and Aaron Levin, moved on to Ethan Shemansky, and then Caleb and Aiden Shemansky. In a few years, it'll be Miles, but today is your day. Now, it wasn't enough that we just buy this in Israel. It had to be in Jerusalem, the spiritual capital of the Jewish people and the real capital of the Jewish state. This particular one was bought at a shop on Ben Yehuda Street. We and your Aunt Barb picked it out. Now, that particular shop is within walking distance of the Western Wall and the Temple Mount. It's a walk of a few hundred yards and 3,000 years. And as we present this to you and wrap it around you, we want you to understand that it represents the fact that you're surrounded today and forever with the love of your family and the tradition of the Jewish people 5,000 years from then till now. We present this to you from Jerusalem with love.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu l'hitatef b'tzitzit.
Bless you, God, ruler of the universe, has given us commandments. Command us to wear a tallis, the garment of our responsibility.
Hi, Vera. So I'm speaking today on behalf of your mom and myself, because Mom didn't think she could talk without crying. So everybody's got makeup on and everything. So, and as you know, I do a lot of public speaking in my job and other things, and I'm normally not nervous, but today I am, because I have the impossible task of putting into words what an amazing human being you are. But I'll do my best. We're so proud of you for all of your talents, like dancing, acting, and singing. You're also a hard worker who does a great job in school and takes care of your responsibilities without needing reminders. Even in preparing to become bat mitzvah, you practice every day without fail for months, and we didn't have to nag you to do so. You have a great sense of humor, an inquisitive mind, and an incredibly kind heart. You've been a great daughter and a great big sister for your brother Miles. And while these traits of yours are what make you special and unique, they didn't come out of nowhere. If you look around this room, you'll see a lot of people who've had something to do with you becoming who you are. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, people who babysat, took you on adventures, attended your plays and dance recitals, and just spent time with you at family dinners and holidays. You've been blessed with a family full of people who love you and have participated in your growth and development. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention some people who aren't here, at least not in the physical sense. For example, your great-grandparents, Audrey and Ward Buchanan, or as you know them, Grandma and Papa Buck. You were so fortunate to have such a close relationship with your great-grandparents, and you spent countless afternoons at their apartment complex pool, many weekends at their cottage in Canada. And as you know, you got your name Vera from a nickname that Papa Buck used to call Grandma Buck, because when she tap danced, it reminded him of the actress Vera Ellen. They were always so proud of you, and I'm sure they still are today. Another person we remember today is their son, Craig, even though most people here probably don't know that was his real name. We all knew him as Uncle Buck, your great uncle. He adored you, and he instilled in you an early love of reading by sending you boxes and boxes of books. He also loved how you were always willing to jump into Hubbard Lake with him, no matter how cold it was, when he would meet us from Marquette up there. And there was also my Aunt Jan, your great aunt, who was so thrilled to have a little girl join the family after so many boys on the Eater side of the family. Much like you, she had this quality of always being someone who you were happy to see and who only added joy and happiness to every room she entered. In Judaism, we often talk about the concept of ledor vador, which means from generation to generation. All these people here today and those who've become ancestors had something to do with you making it here to this moment today. But it's not just them. It's their parents, grandparents, and the countless people before them who made choices and sacrifices to continue to pass on their values to the next generation. And today you read from Torah, as the Jewish people have been doing for thousands of years. Some read it in the land of Israel prior to the destruction of the temple. Others have read from it in parts of the Jewish diaspora, often in secret because they weren't allowed to practice their faith openly for fear of punishment. Your dad's side of the family read from the Torah in places we know today as Germany, Poland, and Russia. But they had to flee those places and come to America when it became impossible to live in those places as Jews. So today, as you read from the Torah, we cannot take for granted that we do it as a free people, and we should always remember those who made it possible for us to do so. And all of those Jewish people who led us here to this point were parts of a chain going back millennia. And today you become a link in that same chain. Where you go from here will be up to you. But we know you'll carry the values of your family and your faith wherever you go. You'll practice kindness just as you do when you're annoyed with your parents and brother, but still manage to speak nicely. You'll be graceful as you are when you dance so beautifully in your competitions. You'll do your best as you do whenever you set out to accomplish a goal. And you'll express gratitude, which is something you truly embody more than anyone we know. And you'll bring joy into the lives of everyone you meet just by being who you are. We're so proud of you, who you are, and who you're becoming. We love you.
Our God and the God of our ancestors, as I stand before this ark, I represent the generations of my people who stood before you, who have lived and died by your law. Give me the wisdom to understand the words that shall be read from your Torah. Endow me with the sensitivity that I can make this law a part of my life and the length of my days. May your word be a lamp unto our people's feet and a light unto our path, showing us the way to a reality that is true and a life that is righteous. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Our God is one, our God is great. Holy is God's name.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני מירושלים. כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני מירושלים. ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו, תורה לעמו ישראל. שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר אדוני מירושלים. על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד.
can be seated. Our Torah portion this Shabbat is Baha'alotecha from the book of Numbers, and Vera will be chanting from chapter 12, which can be found on page 1099 of our Chumashim, of our Torah commentaries. If you'd like to follow along, the blue Torah commentaries can be found throughout our seats. We call upon our first Aliyah, the grandparents and older cousins of our Bat Mitzvah, Marcia and Michael Leibson, and Ethan, Aiden, and Caleb Shemansky. Ya'amdu, Malka, Bat Zev Esther, Nachum, Kasriel ben Moshe v'Chana, Menachem Moshe ben Yaakov v'Zimra, Yisrael ben Yaakov v'Zimra, Aharon Chaim ben Yaakov v'Zimra, Rishon.
Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Vaed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bacharbanu Mikol Hamim V'natan Lanu Et Torato Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vatiraber, wait no, oops. Vatiraber, Miriam ve'Aharon ve'Moshe al odot ha'isha hakushit asher lakach ki isha chushit ngakach vayomeru harak ach b'Moshe diber Adonai halo gam banu diber vayishma Adonai v'ha'ish Moshe anan me'od mikol ha'adam asher al pnei ha'adama.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam nota b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Call upon our second Aliyah, proud parents of our Bat Mitzvah, Monica and Joe Leibson. Ya'amod, Zev, Yosef, and Nachum, Kasriel, Malka, Shenit.
Baruch et Adonai Hamborach.
Baruch Adonai Barach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch et Adonai Hamborach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bacharbanu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Vayomer Adonai Pitom El Moshe ve'el Aharon ve'el Miriam Tzeu shelosh techem el Ohel Moed Vayitzeu shelosh tam Vayered Adonai be'amud anan Vaya'amod petach ha'ohel Vayikra Aharon u'Miriam Vayitzeu Shenehem Vayomer Shim'una Devarai Im Ihiyah Nevi Achem Ba'adonai B'mar'a Elav Et Vadav B'chalom Adaber Bo.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Natan Lanu Torah Emet Chaye Olam Nata Betochenu, Baruch Atah Adonai, Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Call upon our final aliyah, our maftir, our bat mitzvah, Vera. Ta'amod, Shulamit, Vered, bat Zev, Yosef, Shishira bat mitzvah.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
Lochein avdi Moshe bechol beiti ne'eman hu pe'el pe' adaber bo umar velo vechidot utmunat Adonai yabit umadua lo yuretem ledaber be'avdi ve'Moshe vayichar af Adonai bam vayelach ve'he'anan sar me'al ha'ohel ve'hine Miriam mitzorat kashaleg vayifen Aharon el Miriam vehine mitzorat. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet vehine olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten ha'torah.
Amen.
My Torah portion is from the book of Numbers. It is about Moses' siblings, Aaron and Miriam, saying bad things about the Cushite woman Moses has married. God hears their conversation and asks them to meet with him in the tent of meeting. He tells them that they should not say bad things about their brother's wife. God leaves, and after he's gone, Miriam is stricken with leprosy. Aaron begs for God's forgiveness, and then Moses asks God to heal Miriam. There are a couple of lessons in this story. The first is that you should not say negative things about people because of their race or cultural background, or say it behind their backs. The only reason Moses' siblings have a problem with his wife is because of the tribe she comes from. When they discuss this, they're also gossiping about their brother, who is someone they're supposed to love and support. The terrible punishment God gives to Miriam is evidence that he strongly disapproves of this type of behavior. God clearly wants us to love people for who they are and not to speak rudely or judge others for their differences. The second lesson is about forgiveness. Moses knew that Miriam and Aaron said rude things about his wife, but he still asked God to heal Miriam because he still loves her, and even if she made a mistake, she doesn't deserve to have her life ruined because of a disease. For an example of how my Torah portion relates to my own life, when I'm at school, people sometimes gossip about other people that they may be friends with. When that happens to me, I stop being friends with the person who's gossiping about me because that is being a bad person and a bad friend, and also because I don't want them in my life anymore. But sometimes the circumstances are different. Sometimes when you think someone is gossiping about you, it could be a rumor or a misunderstanding. So I make sure that if that happens, then I forgive the person instead because I don't want to lose a friend for no reason. I am very excited to become a bat mitzvah for multiple different reasons. One reason is ever since I was 5 years old and saw all of my older cousins having their bar mitzvahs, I couldn't wait for mine. Even having a small part to do in their service made me feel so special, and now I get to do so much more. Another reason I wanted to become a bat mitzvah is because I'm becoming a Jewish adult. Becoming a Jewish adult means so many different things to me, but I'll name just a few. The first is that now I am a bat mitzvah. I have more responsibilities, and I'm sure they won't come overnight, but over time I will see that I am more involved in my Jewish faith and I am more responsible for my own actions. I can also choose more for myself in what ways I would like to practice Judaism. The third reason that I am so excited to finally become a bat mitzvah is that it's a great opportunity to become a bigger part of the Jewish community. I already have been and will be again next year a Mahonakim at Sunday school, but I feel like becoming a bat mitzvah can help me to contribute to the Jewish community even more. I also know how to read Hebrew much better than before I started the bat mitzvah process, so I can contribute by reading Hebrew during holidays like Passover, when before I only read the English parts. The last reason that I was so eager to become a bat mitzvah is that I had the opportunity to read from the Torah. It is not every day that you get to read verses from a sacred scroll that were picked out particularly for you, and I think that that is so special that I was able to do that. I now call upon my Nana and Papa, my Aunt Barbara and Uncle Jake, and my brother Miles to hold and dress the Torah on this special day of my life.
Please rise.
זאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל, על פי אדוני ביד משה.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim, v'ratza v'divrehem, ha'ne'emarim ba'emet. Baruch atah Adonai, habocher ba'torah, uv Moshe, avdo, uv Yisrael, amo, uv'nvi'e ha'emet v'tzedek. My Haftorah comes from the prophet Zechariah, chapter 3. Hearken well, O high priest Joshua, you and your fellow priests sitting before you, for those men are a sign that I am going to bring my servant the branch. For mark well this stone which I placed before Joshua, a single stone with 7 eyes. I will execute its engraving, declared the Lord, and I will remove that country's guilt in a single day. In that day, declares the Lord of hosts, you will be inviting each other to the shade of vines and fig trees. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, tzur kol ha'olamim, tzadik bechol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman, ha'omer, ve'oseh, hamdaber, kayem, shekol, devarav, emet v'tzedek. Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha'shabbat.
In the presence of a Torah, our thoughts turn to those in need of healing and strength. And as Torah has been a source of strength and wisdom for our people for thousands of years, so is it our source of hope as we think of those in need at this time. Mishiberach Chavatenu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov v'Imotenu Yisrael K'lei Avrachel Hu Yivarech et Ocholim. Merciful God, who's blessed our ancestors Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Leah, and Rachel, send your blessings to our loved ones who are stricken with illness and anxiety.
Misheberach avotenu mekor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength who blessed the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We continue on page 89. We continue on page 89. Havu, Godel, Lelohenu, utnu, chavod, la Torah. Let us declare the greatness of our God and give honor to the Torah. Yehalelu et Shem Adonai ki niskav shemo levado. Let us praise God's name, for it is exalted above all.
Hodo al eretz v'shamayim vayarem keren le'amo tehila lechol chasidav livnei Yisrael am kerovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah.
Torah Adonai temima meshivat nafesh I do Adonai ne'emana mach kimat peti. The law of our God is perfect, restoring the soul. The testimony of the eternal is sure, making wise the simple. Pikude Adonai Yisharim Mesamchai Lev Mitzvah Adonai Bara Meirat Einayim. The precepts of our God are right, rejoicing the heart. The commandment of the eternal is clear, enlightening the eyes. Yirat Adonai Tehorah Omedet La'ad Mishpete Adonai Emet Tzadku Yachdav. The presence of our God is pure, enduring forever. The judgments of the eternal are true and righteous altogether. Ki lekach tov natati lachem torati al ta'azovu. Behold, I have given you a good doctrine, my Torah. Do not forsake it.
Eitz chaim hi lama chazikim ba v'tom mechea meyushar derachea derechei noam v'chol netivotea Shalom.
Please be seated. We call upon a member of our board of directors, Michelle Bear, to give you these gifts on behalf of our congregation at this very special time, Vera, in your life.
Vera, congratulations to you and your family. As a member of the Board of Directors for Temple Shir Shalom, it's my honor and privilege to share in your blessings today of your bat mitzvah. In honor of this day, we have some special gifts for you. First, from the Board of Directors, we have a High Holy Day prayer book for you. From the Brotherhood, a tree has been planted in Israel in the Temple Shir Shalom forest. And from our women's group, your first year's membership dues for Shir Shalom's high school youth group have been paid. Congratulations.
Vera, as Ms. Bear said, you did a wonderful job today. And to be honest, that's exactly what it sounded like all of us expected. Because as your parents shared, every time they asked you, they didn't have to ask you to study. You were always a step ahead of the game. And the same thing happened for us. When you showed up for our appointments, usually when we tell people it's time to kick it in high gear, you were already in Vera gear. But that's what we've seen of you these last number of years as well. It's always fun on a Sunday morning when your dad would arrive for a teacher staff meeting and you and your brother would be hanging out. Last year, sometimes in the car and be like, where's the parents? And he's in a meeting. And then other times, we'd see you hanging out with us, the two of you just playing at times. But really this past year, watching you as I walked into your second grade classroom, watching how those kids looked up to you and what you were able to share with them and what you were able to pass with them was pretty incredible. And I think that's for us today what we get to celebrate. That bat mitzvah, yes, it's about reading Torah and leading the congregation, but really it's about celebrating the young woman who you are. We're told that we don't choose the Torah portion. The Torah portion chooses us. And your Torah portion, we know, is the perfect one for you. Because as we celebrate you and the speech that you shared with us, the lessons that are in that Torah portion, they're lessons that you already live, of kindness, of goodness, of depth, that you share those with everyone around you. And just your perspective, the way that you look at our world, the goodness that you put out into it, it makes our world a better place. It's a blessing. It's a blessing you having part of our temple community, part of our temple family, every community that you touch. Your dad shared all the different blessings of those people that passed on those wonderful qualities to you. Our hope is that through naming our children often, that the qualities of those wonderful people for whom we're named after, your Aunt Jan for you, that they pass on to you as well. But we see that it's not just Aunt Jan, but it's everyone standing behind you right now. Your parents, your grandparents, your friends and family that are here, that they've all, as your dad shared, contributed to the wonderful young woman who you are, who we get to celebrate today. And so we ask that God continue to bless you with all those wonderful qualities as we ask God to bless you now.
Vera, only God can bless. So we hope is that through our connections, our relationships, our family, we bring God a little more into our world. And so as your parents bless you and your grandparents bless you, I ask them to place their hands on you now. The tradition is, as we bless our children, so we ask God to bless you in this moment.
יברכך אדוני וישמרך.
Vera, may God bless you, may God protect you.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך.
May God's light shine upon you and shine through you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום.
Miles, you can put a hand in there too. Good. May God always be a part of who you are. So you always feel these connections and the love. It's a part of who you have in life and the strength you're given. May you have gesinnt health. May you have nachas from kinder, joy from children as your parents, grandparents feel. May you have that too. May you have parnasa, success, whatever you choose to do in life as you continue to make our world a better place, so that you may have shalom, peace in your heart and your mind. May you help bring more peace into our world. And we all say, Amen.
לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. לדור ודור we protect this chain. From generation to generation. לדור ודור our lips will praise your name. Our lips will praise your name.
Before all of Vera's family sits down, we invite everybody to rise with them as we join together in our concluding prayers of the Elenu, which can be found on page 41 of our prayer books.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ושמו אחד.
The mystics teach us that the Kaddish has different meanings every time it is recited. In their minds, it is a prayer that links earth to heaven and bridges the chasm between the living and the dead. The Kaddish is the assurance that your soul is enduring and the human spirit is indestructible. It is a prayer that permits a child to remember a parent and a parent to remember a child. It is an opportunity to bind wounds and bring generation closer to generation. In light and in darkness, it is all of these and more, for it is our people's memory of the best that life has to offer. So on this Shabbat, we think of those friends and family who have been taken from us in these most recent days, whose Shiva, Shloshim, and Shana we mark. Marilyn Hertzberg, Judith Naines Dolson, Bernie Lublin, Lawrence Traeger, Andrea Jarris, Jean Feyender Tennant, Shana Strasburger, Stephen Richmond, Mick Malamed, Aliza Wexler, Lois Fishman, Ken Schiff, the 4,586 Americans of our armed forces who have been killed in Iraq and the surrounding areas to date, those who have lost their lives in the war in Ukraine, and the 1,012,647 Americans who have lost their lives to the coronavirus. And to their names, we add those whose memory, whose yahrzeit we mark this month, this week, those whose anniversary of passing we lovingly commemorate. William Barron, Ruth Beigler, David Brown, Marilyn Effersey, Mary Alice Galowski, Isidore Gladstein, Henrietta Harris, Harry William Himmelhock, Al Klein, Charlene Meyerson Lizelle, Betty Nosenchuk, Faye Perlman, Bill Pittler, William Pohl, Blanche Pollock, Jerry Scharfing, Albert Smith, Giorgio Sonino, Elaine Sirac Sat, Samuel Stolovich, William Tarnow, Valerie Thurston, Marie Walker, along with all those in our hearts who have no one to say Kaddish for them. Do we join together in the immortal words of the Mourner's Kaddish, which can be found on page 46 or on page 96 of your prayer books? Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'almad divrach chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayachon u'vyomachon u'v'chayei l'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'vizman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'alam omei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shmei d'kudusha b'richu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama rabbah min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, huya se shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn, comfort to all the bereaved among us here and everywhere, as together we say, amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom,
Shabbos, everyone.
Yes, good Shabbos.
As I invite Vera to join us again out here on the Bima, I'd like to also ask Miles to join us for the Kiddush now as well. You know, because anytime you can pull off the seersucker suit, you got to have it in front of everyone as often as possible.
It's pretty cool.
Come on, buddy. Come here, Miles. I love this. You got it? You can hold it. Okay. We join to get, not yet. Got to do the blessing first. Just like in preschool, we got this. Okay, we join with Cantor of the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam,
Borei
Peri
Pori.
hagafen. Amen.
Since you look like a Southern attorney, you can drink the wine now.
I am.
To your sister. Stay. Turn away, dude. Please rise for our closing prayer. As we say, Adonai, Oz Le'amo Yitain, Adonai V'rechet Amo V'Shalom. May God give strength to all people, bless all of us here and everywhere with peace. Good Shabbos, everyone. And Mazel Tov.
Simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov.